The silent merchant's gift, what she left behind changed everything. The stranger in the storm. A chance encounter. The market district of Station Nevera was drowning in chaos. Rain hammered the transparent dome overhead, each droplet catching the neon glow of 1,000 advertisements. Trader Marcus Chin adjusted his daughter Lily's rain jacket as they hurried through the crowd. The 8-year-old clung to his hand, her small fingers tight with worry. "Dad, why is everyone running?" she asked. "Storm warning, sweetheart. We need to get home before the transport shuts down." But something made Marcus stop. Through the rushing crowd, he saw her. A figure sat perfectly still on a bench near the broken fountain, hunched against the downpour. She was tall and thin, with skin that seemed to shimmer like oil on water. Her clothes were worn but clean. Beside her sat 2 canvas bags, their contents bulging oddly. The woman who waited. "Dad, that lady isn't moving," Lily whispered. Marcus felt the familiar tug of responsibility. His ex-wife had always called it his weakness, this need to help strangers. But after she left them 3 years ago, that same quality had brought kind people into their lives when they needed it most. He approached slowly. "Excuse me. Are you all right?" The woman's head lifted. Her face was humanoid but different. Her eyes were larger, with pupils that shifted like liquid mercury. She wore no translator device, but when she spoke, her words were clear and careful. "I am well. Thank you for asking. The storm is getting worse. Do you have somewhere to go?" She hesitated. "I am waiting." "For what?" "For someone who needs what I have." Marcus frowned. Her accent was strange, each word pronounced with unusual precision. She looked cold despite the humid air. Rain plastered her dark hair to her skull. "How long have you been sitting here?" 7 hours. Perhaps 8. Lily tugged his sleeve. "Dad, she's shivering." The woman smiled at his daughter. "Your child is observant. That is a valuable quality." An unexpected offer. Marcus made a decision that logic would later question. "There's a cafe across the street. Let me buy you something warm while the storm passes." The woman studied him with those strange shifting eyes. "Why would you do this?" "Because sitting in a storm doesn't seem like a good plan. And my daughter asked me to." The woman stood slowly, gathering her bags. She was taller than Marcus by several inches. "I am called Valera. I accept your kindness." The cafe was small and crowded with other storm refugees. They found a corner table. Marcus ordered hot drinks and bread while Valera settled into her seat with practiced efficiency. Her movements were precise, almost mechanical. Stories began to unfold. "What brings you to Nevera Station?" Marcus asked, trying to break the awkward silence. Valera wrapped her hands around the warm cup. "I am a trader. I travel to many stations, seeking those who need my goods." "What do you trade?" She reached into one of her bags and pulled out a small wooden box. Inside was a crystalline object that caught the light and held it, glowing softly. "I trade in memory stones. They preserve moments that matter." Lily leaned forward, fascinated. "How does it work?" "You hold it and think of a moment you wish to keep. The stone captures it. Later, you can hold it again and remember with perfect clarity. The emotions, the sounds, everything." Marcus felt uncomfortable. "That sounds expensive." "For some, yes. For others, I trade for different things. Stories. Knowledge. Sometimes simply kindness." She looked at him meaningfully. "Each person has something of value." The past revealed. As they talked, Valera's story emerged in careful fragments. She was from a world called Thesha Prime, destroyed in a corporate mining accident 20 years ago. Most of her people had died. The survivors scattered across the galaxy, trying to preserve their culture. "We were merchants before the disaster," she explained. "My family traded in memory preservation. When our world died, I continued the tradition. It is how I honor them. I'm sorry, Marcus said quietly. Losing your home like that must have been terrible. It taught me what matters. Not possessions or status. But connections. Moments. The things we carry in our hearts. Lily had grown quiet, listening with unusual intensity. Do you have a family now? Valera's expression shifted. I had a daughter. She was taken by illness 5 years ago. I was not there when she passed. I was traveling, seeking goods to trade. That is my greatest regret. A daughter's wisdom. Marcus saw tears in Lily's eyes. His daughter had always been sensitive to sadness. I'm sorry you lost her, Lily said. But I bet she knew you loved her. Valera's hand trembled slightly. How can you be certain? Because my mom left us, but I still know my dad loves me. He shows me every day. I bet you showed your daughter too. The words hung in the air. Marcus felt his throat tighten. Valera looked at Lily with an expression of wonder. Your daughter has great wisdom for one so young. She's taught me more than I've taught her, Marcus admitted. The storm's gift. The storm continued outside, but the cafe felt warm and safe. Other patrons came and went. Valera told them stories of the planets she had visited, the people she had met. She spoke of a world where cities floated on clouds, another where music could heal physical wounds. Lily hung on every word, her imagination ignited. Could I see another memory stone? She asked. Valera pulled out a different box. This stone was amber-colored, like captured sunlight. This one is special. It contains no memory yet. It waits for someone who needs to preserve something precious. She held it out to Lily. Would you like to try? Lily looked at Marcus. He nodded. She took the stone carefully, closing her small hands around it. Her eyes closed in concentration. What cannot be bought? When Lily opened her eyes, the stone glowed brighter. Valera took it back and held it herself. Her expression transformed into something Marcus had never seen, pure joy mixed with sorrow. What did she capture? Marcus asked. A moment from her life. Her father carrying her home from school during rain. She felt safe. Loved. Protected. Valera's voice broke slightly. This is what I failed to give my daughter at the end. Presence. She carefully wrapped the stone and handed it back to Lily. This is yours. A gift. No trade required. But you said they're valuable, Marcus protested. They are. And this child has paid the only price that matters. She shared her heart openly. That is rarer than any currency. The choice ahead. The storm was clearing. Through the cafe windows, the dome showed patches of darkening sky. Transport announcements echoed through the station. Marcus checked the time and realized they had been talking for nearly 3 hours. We should go, he said reluctantly. But thank you. For the stories. For the gift to Lily. Valera gathered her bags. May I ask you something? Of course. Why did you stop for me? Most humans do not notice my kind. They see something alien and look away. Marcus considered the question. My grandmother always said that kindness costs nothing but means everything. After my wife left, people helped us when they didn't have to. I guess I'm trying to pass that forward. Valera nodded slowly. Your grandmother was wise. And you honor her teachings well. Seeds of tomorrow. They parted outside the cafe. Valera headed toward the merchant district. Marcus and Lily made for the transport station. But Lily kept looking back. Dad, I feel sad. Why, sweetheart? Because she's alone. And she was so nice. Marcus felt the same pull. He stopped walking. You know what? Maybe we could help her find a place to stay for the night. Our apartment isn't fancy, but it's dry and warm. Lily's face lit up. Really? Really? Let's catch up to her. They ran back through the thinning crowd, calling Valera's name. She turned, surprised, as they approached breathless. Would you like to have dinner with us? Marcus asked. And maybe stay the night if you need a place? Valera's strange eyes shimmered with what might have been tears. You would offer this to a stranger? You're not a stranger anymore. You're someone who shared stories with us. That makes you a friend. For the first time since they met her, Valera smiled fully. Then I accept with gratitude. As they walked together through the clearing evening, Marcus had no idea that this simple choice would change everything. That Valera carried more than memory stones in her bags. That the gift she would leave them would reshape their understanding of what it meant to be human. But that revelation waited ahead, in the quiet hours of the night to come. The truth she carried. A home's welcome. Marcus's apartment was small but comfortable. Lily gave Valera the grand tour, showing off her drawings on the refrigerator and her collection of planetary rocks. Valera examined everything with genuine interest, asking questions that made Lily beam with pride. Your home has great warmth, Valera observed. Not from temperature, but from love. It is in every corner. Marcus prepared dinner while they talked. Simple food, nothing fancy, but Valera ate with appreciation. She told more stories between bites, tales of distant worlds and ancient customs. Lily sat transfixed, occasionally asking questions that showed her sharp intelligence. The weight of secrets. After dinner, while Lily played with her new memory stone, Valera helped Marcus clean dishes. Her hands moved with practiced efficiency, but he noticed they trembled slightly. Are you all right? He asked quietly. She was silent for a long moment. I must tell you something. The truth of why I was sitting in that storm. Marcus set down the plate he was washing. You don't owe me explanations. But I do. Because you welcomed me into your home. Because your daughter gave me a gift I did not deserve. She took a breath. I was not simply waiting for customers. I was waiting for courage to do what must be done. A mission revealed. They moved to the small living area. Lily had fallen asleep on the couch, clutching her memory stone. Valera looked at her with terrible sadness. My people were destroyed by the Helix Corporation. They claimed it was an accident, equipment failure during mining operations. But it was not. They knew the extraction process would destabilize our world's core. They chose profit over billions of lives. Marcus felt cold spread through his chest. They murdered your entire planet? Yes. And then covered it with legal protections and paid officials. No one has been held accountable. No one even remembers Thesha Prime except my people. We are scattered, too few to fight, too broken to unite. The burden she carried. Valera opened one of her bags. Inside were not just memory stones, but data chips, documents, recorded testimonies. For 15 years, I have collected evidence. Every survivor's story. Internal communications. Financial records. Proof of what they did. Why haven't you released it? Because I am alone. Because when lone aliens accuse human corporations, they disappear. Because I needed to find someone I could trust. Someone with standing in human society. Someone with courage. She looked at him directly. I was waiting for someone like you. Marcus felt panic rising. I'm nobody. Just a warehouse supervisor with a daughter to protect. You are someone who stopped in a storm. Someone who sees people others ignore. That is not nobody. That is exactly who changes worlds. The impossible choice. What are you asking me to do? Valera pulled out a particular data chip. Give this to your media contacts. Let them verify it independently. The evidence is irrefutable. But it must come from a human source. They will listen to you in ways they never would to me. They'll destroy me. My job, my reputation, everything. Perhaps. Or perhaps humanity will surprise you. Perhaps enough people share your grandmother's values. She paused. I understand if you refuse. I would not blame you. Your daughter needs you. Marcus looked at Lily sleeping peacefully. She trusted him to make good choices, to be the person she believed he was. But what good was he to her if he lost everything trying to fight a corporation with infinite resources? A daughter's voice. Dad? Lily's sleepy voice made them both turn. Are you talking about the bad people who hurt Valera's home? You should be sleeping, sweetheart. I was. But I heard. She sat up, rubbing her eyes. Are they really bad people? Valera answered gently. They made very bad choices. Choices that hurt many people. And nobody stopped them? No one tried. Lily looked at Marcus with her mother's eyes but her own determined expression. Grandma always said we have to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard. That's what heroes do. Life isn't a story, Lily. Real consequences exist. But Valera is real. Her daughter was real. All those people were real. Lily's voice cracked. If we don't help, we're just like the people who looked away, aren't we? The decision. Marcus sat down heavily. His daughter was 8 years old and understood ethics better than most adults. How could he teach her about courage and kindness while choosing safety over justice? If I do this, he said slowly, everything might change. We might have to move, I might lose my job, people might say terrible things about us. But we'd be helping Valera. And all the people who can't speak for themselves. He looked at Valera. You said you weren't there when your daughter died. That it was your greatest regret. Yes. My greatest regret would be teaching my daughter that protecting ourselves matters more than protecting others. He reached for the data chip. How do we do this safely? The plan takes shape. Valera's relief was visible. I have contacts. Journalists who cover corporate corruption. Scientists who can verify the technical evidence. Legal advocates who work with alien refugees. We'll need a strategy. Can't just dump information and hope for the best. Agreed. We build a network, release everything simultaneously to multiple outlets. Make it impossible to suppress. Marcus's mind raced through logistics. How long do we have? Helix is planning new operations on 3 colony worlds. Similar geological conditions to Thesha Prime. If we do not act within the next 60 days, thousands more will die. The weight of that deadline settled over them. 60 days to expose a genocidal corporation. 60 days to give voice to the voiceless. 60 days to either change everything or lose everything trying. Preparations begin. Over the following weeks, their small apartment became a command center. Valera's contacts proved extensive and committed. A journalist named Akari Sato agreed to lead the investigation. Dr. James Rodriguez, a geophysicist, verified the technical evidence. A human rights lawyer named Patricia Chen began building legal cases. Each night, after Lily went to sleep, Marcus and Valera worked. They organized testimony, cross-referenced documents, built narrative timelines. The evidence was damning and comprehensive. Helix Corporation had known exactly what would happen to Thesha Prime and had chosen profit over billions of lives. Building trust. During those weeks, something shifted between Marcus and Valera. Not romance, but something deeper. The bond of people fighting for something bigger than themselves. She taught him about Theshan culture, their philosophy of interconnection. He taught her about human resilience, the ordinary people who accomplished extraordinary things. Lily flourished under Valera's attention. The alien woman had infinite patience for her questions, treated her insights with respect. She taught Lily Theshan songs, showed her how to read star charts, explained concepts of physics in ways that made them magical. You're good with her, Marcus observed one evening. She reminds me of my daughter. That curiosity, that open heart. I failed Xena by being absent. I will not fail Lily by being present. The storm approaches. 45 days after that rainy night, they were ready. Akari had written 15 articles with verified sources. Dr. Rodriguez had published peer-reviewed analysis. Patricia had filed criminal complaints in 6 jurisdictions. Everything was synchronized to release simultaneously across major networks. The night before publication, Valera made dinner. Real Thessian food, prepared with ingredients she had carefully collected. They ate together like a family, knowing tomorrow would change everything. "Are you frightened?" Valera asked Marcus. "Terrified." "You?" "Also terrified. But also hopeful. For the first time in 15 years, I believe justice might prevail." Lily raised her glass of juice. "To telling the truth." They clinked glasses solemnly. "To truth." The release. The articles went live at dawn across Earth time zones. By mid-morning, they were trending on every platform. By afternoon, Helix's stock had dropped 40%. By evening, 3 executives had been arrested. Marcus's phone exploded with calls. Some supportive, many hostile. His supervisor called, confused and concerned. Friends messaged with questions. His ex-wife sent a furious message about endangering Lily. But the tide had turned. Public outrage was genuine and sustained. Protests erupted on multiple worlds. Other victims of corporate negligence came forward. The story grew beyond one planet's destruction to a larger reckoning. The cost of truth. The backlash came quickly. Marcus lost his job. Their apartment complex received threats. Security forces appeared multiple times with questions. Online campaigns tried to discredit them as frauds and attention seekers. But support came too. A legal defense fund raised millions. News outlets interviewed them, giving platform to Thessian survivors. Other whistleblowers came forward with similar stories about different corporations. Valera watched all of this with complicated emotions. "I brought this upon you," she said one difficult evening. "Your life was peaceful before I arrived." "It was safe," Marcus corrected. "Not the same as peaceful. And definitely not as meaningful. A new beginning." 6 months later, the trial concluded. Helix Corporation was found guilty on all charges. Executives received prison sentences. Reparations were ordered for Thessian survivors. New regulations were enacted for corporate mining operations. It wasn't enough. Could never bring back the billions who died. But it was accountability where none existed before. It was justice, imperfect but real. Marcus found work at a nonprofit focused on corporate accountability. Valera became an advocate for displaced peoples. Lily wrote an essay about courage that won her school's competition. They remained together, this unlikely family formed from kindness and crisis. Not bound by blood, but by choice. By shared values and mutual respect. The legacy. Years later, when asked about that rainy night, Marcus always smiled. "I just saw someone who needed help. Anyone would have done the same." But that wasn't true. Thousands had walked past Valera in the storm. Only one had stopped. That single choice rippled outward in ways no one could have predicted. It exposed evil, protected innocence, and proved that ordinary people could fight impossible odds and win. Lily kept that first memory stone on her bedside table. Sometimes she held it, remembering her father carrying her through the rain. Feeling safe and loved and protected. And Valera had given her a gift more valuable than any crystal. She taught her that home isn't a place, that family isn't defined by species, and that sometimes the greatest courage is simply seeing those others choose to ignore. In the end, that rainy night taught them all something essential. That humanity isn't about biology or origin. It's about choice. The choice to stop when others walk past. The choice to listen when others dismiss. The choice to act when others accept injustice. And in making those choices, Marcus Chen, an ordinary warehouse worker with a kind heart, became exactly what the galaxy needed. Not a hero from stories, but something better, a human being who simply refused to look away. The end.